You are standing on a narrow ledge, thousands of feet above the valley floor. Your heart is hammering, your legs won't move. Modern humans call this acrophobia, but ancient humans climbed those same cliffs every single day without a second thought. So, what did they know that we have completely forgotten? Here is something almost nobody talks about. Fear of heights, real, paralyzing, knee buckling fear, is surprisingly modern, not ancient, modern. Archaeologists have found evidence of early humans living in cliff dwellings, sleeping on rock faces, and hunting along ridgelines that would send the average person today into a full panic attack. The Anasazi people carved entire cities directly into vertical canyon walls. The Himba of southern Africa scale rocky escarpments barefoot from childhood. These are not people who conquered their fear of heights. They simply never developed it in the way we have. So why do so many of us struggle now? The answer starts in your nervous system. Your brain has a threat detection region, the amygdala, that fires an alarm the moment it perceives a drop. In a modern life spent mostly indoors, on flat surfaces, behind glass windows, that system never gets calibrated. It stays stuck on high sensitivity. You almost never experience being genuinely high up in a physical, embodied way. And so, the first time you do, your amygdala treats it like a death sentence. Ancient humans were different not because their brains were wired differently, but because their brains were trained differently. They had what researchers now call vestibular confidence, a deep bodily familiarity with balance, elevation, and their own physical limits. They knew exactly where the edge was because they had been near edges their entire lives. This is actually documented in modern children who grow up in mountain communities. Kids raised in the Andes, the Alps, or the Himalayas show measurably lower physiological stress responses to height exposure than their urban counterparts. It is not genetics, it is accumulated exposure. Everyday, casual, unremarkable exposure to height from the time they could walk. The modern world accidentally removed that training. Flat roads, elevators, ground floor living, all of it quietly stripped away the daily microdoses of height experience that kept the ancient nervous system calm. Our ancestors were not braver, they were simply more practiced, and practice, it turns out, is the actual secret. Ancient communities did not have therapy, they did not have exposure response prevention programs or cognitive behavioral worksheets. What they had was something far simpler and far more effective, a life structured around graduated physical challenge from the very beginning. Children in hunter-gatherer groups climbed trees constantly, not as a recreational activity, not as a scheduled exercise, as part of the ordinary rhythm of a day. They climbed to scout for game, to gather fruit, to escape predators, to sleep safely off the ground. By the time a child in such a group reached adulthood, they had climbed thousands of trees across hundreds of different heights. Their nervous systems had been calibrated by 10,000 small victories, moments where the height was real, the exposure was genuine, and they had managed it. This is what modern neuroscience now calls systematic desensitization through natural immersion. The ancient version happened automatically. Nobody designed it, the environment demanded it, and the body adapted. There is a particularly compelling example in the Bajau people of Southeast Asia, the so-called sea nomads. These communities spend their entire lives on boats and over open water. Studies of Bajau children show their bodies have physically adapted to this environment. Enlarged spleens for better oxygen storage during dives, altered stress responses during elevation and depth changes. The environment shaped them at a biological level, not through willpower, through consistent, repeated, contextual exposure. The principle is identical for height. The ancient secret is not a breathing technique, a mantra, or a ritual. It is graduated, consistent, embodied exposure, starting small, building slowly, never skipping the uncomfortable middle. Modern rock climbers rediscovered this accidentally. Climbers who start on indoor walls at low heights and progress incrementally report that the fear does not disappear all at once. It fades, climb by climb, repetition by repetition, until the nervous system quietly stops filing the alarm. The amygdala gets the message. Height has happened before. Height did not kill us. Height is manageable. This is exactly what ancient daily life was delivering without anyone trying. There is a second piece of the ancient formula that almost never gets mentioned, and it might actually be the more important one. Ancient humans did not face height alone. When a young person in a hunter gatherer group first climbed a significant height, they did it alongside experienced climbers. An elder went first, an elder demonstrated, the group watched, encouraged, and, critically, normalized what was happening. Nobody acted like the height was extraordinary. Nobody performed alarm. The social signal was clear. This is something humans do. We do it together. You will be fine. This matters enormously because fear is profoundly social. Studies of emotional contagion show that a calm, confident companion in a high place can reduce another person's physiological stress response by a measurable amount. The reverse is also true. One panicking companion can spike cortisol in everyone nearby. Ancient groups were, unintentionally, excellent regulators of each other's nervous systems. This is why so many modern people can describe a specific moment when height fear got worse. Watching a parent panic on a balcony, hearing a story about a fall, seeing someone else freeze on a ladder. The fear was partly learned. It was transmitted socially, through observation, the same mechanism that ancient communities used to transmit calm. The practical implication is straightforward. Recovering the ancient relationship with height is not just a solo project. Who you practice with matters. Practicing with someone calm and competent changes the experience at a neurological level. It does not just feel more manageable, it is more manageable because your nervous system is co-regulating with theirs. Ancient humans were immersed in this kind of social scaffolding every day. Shared physical challenge was the fabric of community life. The bravery was not individual, it was collective. And that collective bravery made each individual genuinely less afraid. The oldest secret to no height fear was never about conquering yourself alone. It was about climbing with your people. So, the ancient formula has two pillars: graduated embodied exposure and calm social context. The good news is that both are completely available to you right now, with zero special equipment and no ancient ancestry required. Start smaller than you think you need to. This is the piece most people skip. They try to fix height fear by going straight to the scary height, and the nervous system rejects it. Ancient training never worked that way. A child did not begin in the treetops. They began at the first branch, then the second. The third came weeks later. Practically, find a height that activates mild discomfort, not panic, just mild unease. A second floor balcony, a low outdoor observation platform, a hill with open exposure. Stand there, breathe normally, stay until the discomfort softens, even just slightly, then leave. Come back the next day, do it again. The nervous system is not changed by a single dramatic confrontation. It is changed by accumulated evidence that height does not equal death. Second pillar, bring someone calm, not someone who will push you or mock you, but someone who is genuinely comfortable at height and genuinely unbothered by your discomfort. Their nervous system will do work that no amount of internal pep talk can replicate. This is the social co-regulation that ancient humans had built into every day of their lives. And one final piece, move your body at height. Do not just stand still. Ancient humans were never static on a ledge. They were climbing, balancing, reaching. Movement actually helps. It gives the nervous system something to do besides catastrophize. It rebuilds vestibular confidence the same way it was built 10,000 years ago. Through action, not observation. Your brain is not broken. It is undertrained, and the training has been waiting for you this whole time, written into the oldest version of what it means to be human. If this changed how you think about fear and what your body is actually capable of, subscribe for more deep dives into the ancient knowledge modern life forgot to keep. Drop a comment. What height have you always wanted to stand on without fear?